And this is how I got the reeds. Amazing! Last time, we upgraded Curioville with a bougie neighbourhood for the bourgeoisie, inspired by the city of Paris, complete with high-end boutiques, grand townhouses, and an exclusive social club. Today, we'll be creating a lushly landscaped botanical garden beyond the public library, using the terraforming tools, water brush, and bridges that arrived with the latest update. So sit back, relax, and let's build in town to city. And if you're enjoying this series, hit the like button and consider subscribing if you haven't already so you won't miss out on future episodes. And without further ado, let's continue on. Welcome everyone to a brand new day in Curioville. We're going to be adding some more luxury to our little corner of town to city and addressing a side quest that I received while decorating away from camera. And the side quest in question is the Botanical Botherings. Now, the goal is to create a botanical garden, and I thought what better place to situate it than behind our public library. We've done a little bit of work away from camera. If you remember from the last part, we initially had this one little bridge on this corner, and I've added another bridge connecting the pathway to the other side of the map. Now, speaking of maps, we are right at the perimeter, which is a little bit unfortunate, but as you can see from the perimeter of the circle that pertains to this side quest, we should have just enough space to make this botanical garden come to life. Now, I've used the water tool from the most recent update and created this little mini moat area. We'll definitely be adjusting this and making it a little bit neater in this part, and I'm going to probably be using some of the terraforming to just flatten out this area. But as you can see, I've unlocked the new iron bridges, and I've placed one here, which reminds me a lot of the bridges that you see in San Francisco. And I wanted to create a little viewing point here. Thought it'd be quite nice, even if it's just for overlooking the valley. So unfortunately, you're unable to add roads or lanes beneath the bridges, so I think we're going to have to use some form of terraforming paint, and I'm definitely going to neaten this up. But in terms of addressing the side quests, we need to plant flowers of any type, plant at least one type of tree decoration, a bush decoration, and place fences around the botanical garden, which should be relatively straightforward. So we're going to basically play landscaper for this entire part. It's going to be quite long form, I think, and we're going to try and create some custom boats. I've had so much inspiration from the Discord for Town to City. There's some incredibly creative people on there, and yeah, I would like to have my own go at using the gizmo tool and creating some kind of moment here. So without further ado, let's get into build mode. I think where I'd like to start off is creating this little underpass moment to connect the bridge from one side of the land to the other, and I really want to manicure this as much as possible. Now, I think what I do need to do to remove these kind of white bits of terrain that are popping through is to smoothen the terrain a little bit. And that's just slightly lifted our bridge, but that's okay. And we can still have some of the rock showing, that's fine. I'm hoping as well by adding a little bit of a pathway that the residents will be able to maneuver under the bridge. But I've not actually seen a townsfolk be underneath the bridge yet or not, so maybe it's not a thing. Now, do I want to use some soft dirt? What did we use in this corner? It was sand, but that was a road, so perhaps we use sand, perhaps we could use stone. Maybe, considering it's a botanical garden, maybe let's go for stone, and then it feels a little bit fancier. Let's start off with the circular brush, and I'd just like to create a little winding path underneath the underpass of the bridge, and then we can landscape and make it look a little bit more natural. Let's continue our landscaping, so we can add a few bushes around here. I think I'm going to climb some ivy up the main iron bridge. I've been using the gizmo tool to just adjust everything to my liking, pretty much, and sinking things down into the landscaping, because you can see here it looks slightly janky. So what I've been doing is just using the arrow keys to slightly move it any object in or out. It's quite time consuming, but I think if you like detailing, the gizmo tool has been pretty much a godsend. Maybe we should get a tree in this area. We could opt for something a little bit bigger actually, maybe like a pine. I would like one that's maybe a lower profile tree. Let's go for this one. It's got a nice shape to it, I think. And I'd quite like to add a few mushrooms in this area since we're near the water side. And you can see there it's invalid to place the mushroom. So again, let's use the gizmo tool and shift it over. Maybe let's get out my tried and true floral bush and add some more color to this area in these nice red, pink and orange tones. And I mentioned I wanted to add some ivy, so let's make that happen, shall we? And maybe let's go for a big piece here, if it will allow. What looks most natural? Maybe if I sink this one down. I'm just trying to settle everything as much as possible into the landscape. And then maybe let's go for a low part here. And I can't forget that we have stones as well. So if we disable the collision, it should be able to be easily placed. I think you're a bit too big. Let's use the gizmo tool to sink you down. I think since unlocking the stones, it's really widened the horizons for the possibilities for decoration. There we are. See, just a little bit of landscaping. It's already made it feel quite lived in. I think what I do need to do is adjust the water here because it doesn't look very natural. I think what I might do is actually remove the water on this section and widen it around here. It's almost like a quay or a canal in a sense. I was actually looking for some inspiration pictures and came across a lot of manicured gardens, and I definitely do want to achieve that, but I think as well with the ability to add water now, I'd like to create something that feels a little bit more, well, a bit more rustic, I guess you could say. I do wish we had some new modes of transport in this game, so with the update with the water, it'd be great if we could be given some boats. That would look really cute in this area, I think. I think this line's a little bit harsh, so let's add a few rocks to the area. Maybe nestle them in without them clipping too much. Let's use the gizmo tool to sink you down a bit. It's a bit better. Sink you into the stone. There we are. Looks a little bit better. I really like adding these arch bridges where it makes sense, because I think it adds so much nice appeal to the landscape. Let's try and just make this look like it's built in from the stone rather than into the grass itself. And can we add... Oh, we can. Good. This one is being compliant with where I want to put everything. Although saying that I am struggling ever so slightly. Let's add maybe a few up here as well. I think this is the favorite thing probably that I've been able to achieve with decoration, is by adding some ivy to the bridges. I think it really makes it look so much more natural to the landscape. And obviously since we have the gizmo tool, we can adjust that as well. Make all these custom decorations. Possibilities are endless. Speaking of the gizmo tool, I saw this great idea on the Discord by this amazing poster, and they create this little picnic area. So instead of using the bench itself, they've sunk it down, and I've just added a little picnic basket on there. I thought it was quite cute. I know the developers are definitely listening to us, especially over in the Discord. So if you need to know anything, go over there because they do respond. And I know they're very passionate about this game, as we all are. I think we probably could make do with... Oh, wrong copy. Some more ducks in this area. Maybe one over here. One over here. Right, does that look okay? I think maybe we need to sink it down a little bit more. Let's pull you across. And then... There, that's a cute little moment. I think we need another tree here as well. Sure, let's go for this. Isn't this exactly the same tree that we've used at the... Yes, it is. After all that. Let's grab some of our landscaping. And let's get some bushes as well. And also our flowers. I will say... adding this bourgeoisie district has definitely killed my frames. But again, that's if you visit the Discord for Town to City, they're working on optimizing this game a little bit better. And I've got a powerful gaming PC, so hopefully others aren't struggling too much if they don't have a gaming PC. I think it'll be nice that they optimize it though for everyone. I've noticed a few frames dropping here and there, but I am adding tons of detailing, so I'm not really surprised. I don't think the game is probably used to having this much detail. I think maybe let's now connect our little picnic blanket in with a pathway. I've got dithering on, so it should look as organic as possible. Let's just wind you round and connect you here. There we are. Sweet. I want to add some more stones and rocks to this area, just to cover up these ghastly looking bits of white through the terrain. I've been really liking adding some landscaping to the edges of the terrain. Just make it look a little bit more realistic. I actually haven't unlocked the reeds, I think, which can be placed in the water. I haven't unlocked that yet. I think it's obviously part of a side quest, which I haven't got to. But it's really annoying because I would like to add these to the water. I'm sure they'll look really nice. So that is a shame, but we'll make do with what we've got, hey? Let's add some more ivy and dress up this bridge. So, oh, that piece looks quite nice there. Let's add one there. And I want this one as well. I don't really have a rhyme or reason to where I landscape and what I do. Similar to all my other building videos, I kind of just place things on instinct and what looks most realistic to me. So I wouldn't really say it's a teachable, it's not even a skill, let's put it that way. It's at random. I'm going to add some swans as well. I've been liking adding swans to our bridges. I wish we had little chicks as well. How cute would that be? Seeing little swan babies. Let's add our flowers in this area. So flowers can be placed underneath the bridge, which is helpful. So I don't have to use the gizmo tool for absolutely everything. Although now I think I'm addicted to using the gizmo tool, so I probably will regardless. Not really considered the fence. Maybe we should do that now, actually. So what I could do, have this as a secondary entrance. So let's think about this. I've used this archway, which I really liked. It's actually massive. So I have used the gizmo tool to manipulate it. I love if we could have some stone archways, and perhaps that is something that we can unlock over time, but I've yet to see them, even from people that have essentially unlocked everything. So correct me if I'm wrong. Hopefully I am. But I would love to see some archways. I think another thing I would like them to, another thing, I'm very demanding. I'm almost like the bourgeoisie. I would like the team to, I don't know if this is possible, but when you create a custom shape using the gizmo tool, I would like if you could use the eyedropper tool and drop it to have the exact same dimensions, which currently isn't the case at the moment. It just obviously goes back to the original size that the object was, but I understand that we've only just recently got this update, and maybe there's constraints to this tool. I'm very happy that we have it regardless, so I won't complain too much. There we are. So we've got an archway, and let's use some sand actually. So I think what I'm going to do as well is smoothen the terrain so it's not all ridged when I place the sand. Let's go to the circle and let's maybe do a winding pathway. So maybe this actually can be the perimeter of the fence. Actually, you know what? The one step up there is not too bad. I think I'm going to try my best to follow the guideline of this circular moment. So remember the early days when I was struggling. It's funny how the more you play in a game, obviously the more skilled you become. And I'm nowhere near as skilled as some people are with their decorative abilities, but definitely pride myself in adding the detail. What I'm going to do is place some bushes and some more rocks down this way. So let's speed things up and we can continue on adding to our botanical garden. Okay, there we are. We've just added enough detail around this area. I've made sure not to go overboard, and I've climbed up some ivy. around the bridge area, which I'm sure we'll continue on. Gosh, look at all the unhappy faces over there. I want to focus on the entrance point. I think I'm going to use some archways. Maybe if we go for the larger ones. And create like a multi-archway entrance, just for a little bit more drama. I know we've got a micro update coming, which is exciting, and hopefully we'll have a lot more decorations. I've personally asked for some more furniture. I think that's quite important. Even just seats and things like that. Doesn't have to be anything extravagant. But as I mentioned, people have been making some custom decorations. I've even seen a ship, which is insane, and I don't think I'd be able to be that creative, to be honest. I think let's make more of a moment of this viewing point if we can. Don't know if I can pull it out. Oh, I can. Perfect. So let's place a fountain here. Should we go for the grey or the white? Maybe let's go for the white, you know. We are in a fancy part of town. And let's draw in a plaza. Probably afford to go a little bit bigger in this area. And hopefully the residents use this bridge. Let's put some benches. We're using the green metal bench around the bourgeoisie area, so let's follow suit. No doubt I'll effect this away from camera. Are these double-sided? Oh, they're not. Do I want to make this a double-sided moment? That is the question. You know what, sure. I think what I want to do is now add some hedges to the area so we can create some flower beds. I enjoyed what we did over in this part of the garden, so I want to do something quite similar. Maybe let's start by adding our road in, just so I can get a semblance of where to add our hedges. Could do a little circle moment for sure. Maybe here. And let's curve you around. And maybe end you there. That's a nice flower bed moment. Let's add another one. I'm wondering if we use the terrain sand, will it look... It doesn't look completely off. I just wish it did match. Well, the dry grass kind of looks a lot like the sand, actually. Yeah, well, let's go for that. I don't like how thick this is, though, so let's start again. So, what was it? Dry grass. I'm thinking maybe just centrally under the bridge. Then we can do some landscaping to nestle it in. So, our tried and true bushes. Get some floral boys. And also let's climb up some ivy, which I did over here and I really enjoyed. Wondering if... Oh, you're a bit too big. Maybe let's do some single moments. There you go. Can go up here. Oh, well, that disappeared, but I know it's there. I hope that the residents will be able to go underneath here. But let's see, shall we? Let's turn the dithering on so we can create a little bit more of an organic path. Do I need another fountain moment? Potentially. Let's go to the plaza section. Pop you there. And as I was saying, sinking you down. Be kind of cool to create a bit of a feature here. Let's see if we can use the gizmo tool. I didn't show you this in the detailing part when we were creating the bourgeoisie, but I've just basically been using the gizmo tool to resize things as well as reposition them. So pretty much do it by eye, and then let's drag you over. I'm probably gonna have to manipulate this again. And then I dragged it up. Okay. It's not the worst thing in the world. Though I'm probably going to... Oh, I can't swivel you, actually. Let's keep you as is. I'll create a bit of a epic moment in this corner. Let's look to our list. Place at least one of every type of tree decoration. Now, is that just essentially trees? So if I put a medium tree... No, not that. A small tree? No. A large tree? Oh yeah, so that counts. It's different sizes of trees, basically. Oh, it's saying it's ready. Well, I'm not ready yet, so we can complete this task at the end of this video. Been really enjoying adding some of these autumnal trees to the area as well. Adds a lot of texture. She's going to be bugging me the entire rest of this part now, isn't she, by clapping. So what I'm going to do now is go away from camera and create some custom flower beds. I also would like to create a bit more of a moment for the entrance. So maybe we can do some more hedges, definitely add some more landscaping around here. And we can finish this part off with figuring out what to do in this part of the botanical garden. So without further ado, let's get into build mode. Okay, you can see my very lame attempt at creating a custom riverboat. It's very tricky actually because you have to place it on some terrain initially, and I could not remove this, so I definitely will tidy that up away from camera. But I used some archways, added some barrels. I also remembered that when you place down the foliage archway on a wall, it creates a little circular moment, a wreath. So pretended that's a boat's steering device. Added a little flag in our town colours. I think it looks okay. I mean, it doesn't look like a boat, but I'm going to give myself a pat on the back for the first attempt. And instead of creating some custom flower beds and adding so much more detail and compromising our frames, I just added another farmland and planted down some roses and some lavender just to bring some colour to this area really. Rearranged the hedges leading up to the entrance, added some lights, and Bob's your uncle. I need to connect the road to this bridge, so let's do that first. Let's get into our... I think I'll just stick to this terrain paintbrush instead of adding a road, now that we can place it beneath the bridges. So let's just wind this around and connect it to a bridge over here. Let's just wind it. It's a bit of a messy road. I suppose it's natural. So then at least all this is connected. And let's add some bushes. Word of the day. I think the bourgeoisie deserve a park because I'm sure the bourgeoisie have children. So let's navigate to where our rides are. So we've got a roundabout. We can add a slide. And where are our swings? Here they are. I'm going to put them in the lighter wood shade. And maybe some monkey bars as well, since we've got the space for it. I'd also like to create a well moment. So we're just placeholder adding things. And I also would like to add a gazebo. I think the plain white one looks quite nice in this area. Maybe just leading up to this hillside. Just for some moments of interest. So let's situate our park. I think maybe let's put the slide over here. And put our swings in this corner. I think I'm just going to keep this quite a flat piece of land. Let's add another tree in this area, I think. Here we go. I love this tree. I think it looks so nice. It looks really organic. Let's put one here. Got space for some big boys. And maybe an autumnal one in this corner. I think so far so good. I definitely will perfect things, but I like what we've achieved in this part. Got a nice little winding pathway, some places for picnics. I actually swapped out the tables for the plain ones. I just thought the gingham tablecloth was clashing a little bit. Create a nice little plaza moment. Really like that we've managed to incorporate another bridge to this area. Also, before I forget, let's just link you into the pathway so people can enjoy the well underneath the bridge. Got a little viewing platform here. That's quite nice. Yeah, let's finish this part off by speaking to Genevieve, shall we? My botanical garden is ready. Feast your eyes on the festive of flora featured in our field. What nice alliteration. Fantastic. Phenomenal. That's not how you spell phenomenal. Very good. Oh, they're taking the mick. Let's go for fantastic. My work starts now. First, I'll spend a few weeks thinking of how to name this botanical garden after myself. Oh, excuse me, I did all the work. And this is how I got the reeds. Amazing. Oh, I didn't realize you have to complete this side quest to unlock the reeds. We got $200, we've got some research points. Let's just have a look at what these reeds look like, because I've not seen what these are like in game. So, oh, amazing. Oh, and they come in a few variations. Well, you can ensure that I will be adding these around the little lake area. Kind of would have been nice to have them for this part, but alas, I think I'm going to leave things on my janky looking houseboat. But hey, I did make an effort. But if you did enjoy this video, please give it a like and leave me a lovely comment down below. And you can search my name, Curiopher, on YouTube for other cozy building games. And I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.